What's up, everybody? Mike here from Friction Jewelry. Got my welding glasses on today, feeling fresh. I'm here to talk a little bit about argon gas with respect to the Amazon welder and the Mpulse welder. I've been getting a lot of questions after I made the last video. What's up with argon? Here's my take. Okay, so yeah, argon gas, I mean, it's part of the welding setup, right? So for sure you need it, but can you work without it? Totally. If you're just starting out, you're just trying to figure out if you can make your business work, you've got expenses piling up. Adding the argon, although it's really not that expensive to do, is just one more thing that I would probably leave off the list for my first gig, right? If I was gonna sign up to do a craft fair or something, or a market of any sort pop up, if it was my first gig, I probably wouldn't do it. I would add it on as soon as I thought that my business had legs, right? Like that I was, starting to make jewelry with it consistently, starting to book clients, whatever. Then I would probably urge you to do the argon. So if you bought the Amazon welder, this is kind of the part of the regulator that comes with it. It's got an in from the tank. So you'll need like a 3/8 inch tube from your argon tank, which I'm assuming you're gonna actually need a regulator on your argon tank already, in addition to this one. This one will allow you to control the pressure or the flow that comes through this device into your welder. So by turning this little knob, you'll be able to move it from whatever, 5 PSI, 10 PSI. I'm over this thing, I've never used it. I don't plan on ever using this thing. So let me show you what I do. Okay, forward facing, iPhone video. Take two. So here we go. This is my mobile argon setup that I use for all my pop-ups, markets. I even put it in my office too. It is a 20-gallon tank, 20 cubic foot, 20-gallon, LOL. 20 cubic foot tank of argon. Looks like that. It's about yay high and maybe knee high. And it fits really nicely in a 5-gallon bucket that you can get from Ace Hardware or Home Depot or whatever. Attached to the argon tank, we have the regulator, which is made by Victor. It's on, I think Pepe Tools is the cheapest place to get it right now for like $120. It's specifically set up for the Pulse Arc welders. And I think really all that means is that it has a 1/4 inch quick connect on it, which is the exact same tube diameter that you need to feed both the Amazon welder and the Orion welder. So $120. The tank empty on Amazon is about $100 delivered. And then you would take the empty tank to your supply store that has gas, like your gas supply store. And most major cities will have a few of them. San Diego has like 3 or 4. I just called around and found somebody that had 20-gallon tanks that were, or I keep saying that, 20 cubic foot tanks that would do a tank exchange. So it was like $30, right? You can buy already filled tanks on, I think Pepe Tools is ready for as well for like $200. But if you go the way that I did it, it saves you like $75. And the way I think about it is you're gonna have to go and refill it at some point anyway. You're not just gonna keep ordering $200 pre-filled tanks. So you might as well just start off the bat, getting a relationship with your local place that will do the gas exchange and just get that rolling. So that's the route that I recommend. And I think all told, this is actually the box that the tank comes in, and then I just packed the bucket with some foam so that it just doesn't move around too much. So like I said, all in, this is probably $250, maybe $300 at the most. And then once you have it set up, your tank exchanges are only going to be like $25 or $30. So, it's kind of a no-brainer to do it. What's really, really cool about this bucket situation is that it has a handle, right? So you can just, boom, lift it and go. It's not that heavy. I mean, I'm not super strong. It probably weighs like, 15 pounds, 20 pounds maybe, I don't know. The tube that the Orion comes with is like a 7-foot tube, so you can stash it under your table and run it to your tabletop or however you're gonna do your mobile setup. But I would say definitely this is dangerous if it falls over, right? Like if this tank were to fall over and the regulator were to snap off, this tank could depressurize rapidly and create like a projectile and just blow out your neighbor's cat or just wreck someone's ankle that happens to be in the market or something, and then your business is like game over. day one, game over. So don't, bungee this thing to a table leg. Don't do anything super janky. Just get something solid like a milk crate or a bucket or a Home Depot storage bin. Something that will keep this shit secure, because it's just not worth the risk. So yeah, that's my mobile setup. And the biggest benefits that I can tell you are, obviously it protects your weld, so you get stronger welds, essentially. Like they're not as dirty, so you have less fire scale, but even more importantly, they're actually stronger. They're when you don't use argon, you get a little porosity. Like I think you get little almost air inside that weld. So I've read, in the real world of welding jump rings and permanent jewelry and chains, does that really matter? I mean, we're not working on the space shuttle here. I don't know. I think it's more about other factors, like how you're setting up, your weld and how you're executing it. Even without argon, that's really going to tell you, is your shit going to fall apart or not? But the other benefit is, not only does it keep your weld clean, it helps keep your electrode clean. These things get super dirty. When this thing is dirty, this is the Amazon welder I have right here. When this thing gets dirty, the results are unpredictable, right? So, if you're just welding people back to back, and all of a sudden you just, boom, you have it on the same setting, and then all of a sudden, boom, like something just feels like it just explodes, throws soot on their hand or whatever. That's the reason. So I think a lot of people are melting shit because they're just working with dirty electrodes. You have to wipe it off. I use like a polishing cloth, or a microfiber cloth is actually what I use. It's better. This has like old tarnish on it, so it's gonna probably make it dirtier, LOL. Just use a microfiber cloth, keep this thing clean, and then if you're not using argon, I would say honestly every few clients or every few welds, bracelets, whatever, just grind this thing down with of course I don't have it in front of me, but the electrode sharpener, you have to buy one of those. It's more important than the argon tank. The difference is incredible. You can play with this is the finest tip on, you can't really see it from the video, but this is like a 10 degree. This is what they actually, when you buy the electrodes, they come sharpened usually to like 10 degrees. It's the finest point. And it totally works. It's just a matter of experimenting. Some welds work better with a fine point, some you need to dull it a little bit and you get better results. That's just up to you. Just play around and rock and roll. But you need argon. If you're at that point in your business where you're down to take on a slight bit of extra cost and a little bit of extra hassle carrying that thing around, just go for it. Set it up. It's worthwhile. Happy welding.